Harold Shipman by Adam Albacore. Harold Shipman's childhood friends and education. He was born into a working-class family in Manchester. He became interested in medicine as he watched his mother receive morphine injections to ease the pain she suffered while dying of lung cancer. He was an isolated individual and only had a few friends while growing up. He received a medical degree from Leeds University, and a few years later, he became a general practitioner in Todmorden in Lancashire. Marriage, children, and occupation. The picture to your right is his family and his 4 children. Their names are Sarah, Sam, Christopher, and David. He married Primrose May Oxby, and his main former occupation was a general practitioner in the town of Hyder in Great Manchester. Things that stood out about his life: that was his mother, who died to terminal cancer when he was about 17. His early life was somewhat mysterious, but he studied at high school Pavement Grammar School. He excelled as a distance runner and a rugby player. The natures of his crimes, the time span, and where. The picture is where he killed most of his patients. To be exact, 215, and as many as 260 of his patients were injected from a lethal dose of painkillers. From 1975 to 1988, he killed at least 215 people. The town of Hyde in Greater Manchester is where most of his victims were killed. How many victims and who? Anything stand out? He killed 215 people, but there is a total of 260 unconfirmed deaths. He killed specifically his patients. The thing that stands out is the sheer number of people he heartlessly killed. Notice how they're mostly older white females. Was Shipman caught? How was he caught, and was there a profile? Shipman was caught a few days after killing his last patient. He was on his routine blood draw, but this time he decided to inject her with a lethal dose of pharmaceutical heroin. He forged her will of 400,000 pounds and left his fingerprint on the document, which made it very easy to track him. They used forensic profiling to find Shipman because he foolishly left his fingerprint on her will. Mental disorder / evidence. He did not have any mental disorders, but did have an addiction to the drug morphine. Traces of diamorphine, also known as heroin, were found on Shipman's last victim's body. With this evidence, Shipman was arrested on January 31st, 2000. Trial, and are they still alive? Harold Shipman was found guilty of 15 counts of murder and sentenced to life in prison. Later, investigations uncovered further victims, and now over 200 are positively linked to Shipman. Most of his victims were older females. On January 13th, 2004, Shipman hanged himself in his cell in Wakefield Prison, West Yorkshire. Why did I choose Shipman? I wanted to know how one human can get away with 200 plus murders before getting caught. Harold Shipman was one of the most prolific killers in history. He has the most kills of any serial killer to ever walk on this planet. When the recommendations from the inquiry into Shipman's killings were put into place in Britain, they became known as the Shipman effect. And these are my resources I used.